Hello there, you're watching Nightline with me, Anita Whoop. The headlines. 16 more schools in Pasir Gudang ordered to close due to toxic air pollution. And government to continue with highway takeover initiative. We begin with this story. Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad on Sunday met with Thai Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha. Both leaders discussed bilateral, regional and international issues for common interest to further strengthen the close ties between Thailand and Malaysia. Both countries are working together to boost trade volume. Malaysia is Thailand's fourth largest trading partner in 2018, with bilateral trade accounting for about $11 billion in the first quarter of this year, with an increase of 1.86%. Earlier, the Prime Minister attended the opening ceremony of the 34th ASEAN Summit. He then attended a meeting of the Brunei, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, East ASEAN Growth Area, which was also attended by the leaders of all three countries. Tun Dr. Mahathir then attended the Indonesia-Malaysia Thailand Triangle meeting, chaired by Indonesian President Joko Widodo. The progress report is presented to see how current economic challenges can further strengthen ASEAN and its role in trade war situations between the US and China. Speaking at a press conference later on Sunday, Tun Dr. Mahathir said the 10-member ASEAN grouping is not dormant. He stressed that unlike other regional groupings, ASEAN is able to work together and is peaceful. And due to that, Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad said the grouping has great potential.
But by comparison to other regional grouping, ASEAN is one region which has not only been able to work together and grow each other's economy, but also ASEAN is peaceful, whereas other regional groupings are not peaceful or have got problems with memberships and the like, including, of course, the European Union. So I have, having heard all the reports and the talk given by each member, I feel that ASEAN has got great potential, and I think with some of the ideas mooted during the discussion, we can play a role in order to grow each other's country.
Tun Dr. Mahathir spoke to the Malaysian media in Bangkok after a day filled with programs of the ASEAN Summit and its related meetings in the Thai capital. The government will continue its initiative to take over other highway concessionaires if the takeover of the 4 tolled highways and the toll collection formula on those highways succeed. Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng in a statement said that the takeover of the concession companies would be a pioneering project to the government's efforts to ease the burden of the people. The takeover, according to him, will also reduce toll rates at non-peak times as they will be toll-free. However, other times will see a reduction from 5, 10, 15 to 30%, while the toll rates for peak hours will be maintained. He explained this is a very significant improvement compared with the past. This is because the government does not have to fund its costs, as when bonds are used to finance the purchase, the takeover will be financed by the toll rates collected, although the reduced rates are still able to cover these costs. On Saturday, the Finance Minister announced that the government has indeed made a 6.2 billion ringgit bid to take over 4 highway concessionaires, a deal that would save taxpayers 5.3 billion ringgit in compensation to the concessionaires. The 4 tolled highway concessionaires are the Lebuh Raya Damansara Puchong, LDP, Sistem Penyurayan Trafik KL Barat, Sprint, Lebuh Raya Shah Alam, Kesas, and the Smart Tunnel, Smart. Meanwhile, speaking on the rising cement prices in Sarawak, the finance minister said an investigation is necessary to determine whether the cause is the practice of the local industrial monopoly in the state. He said although the government managed to curb rising cement prices in Peninsular Malaysia last week, the price of the commodity in Sarawak is significantly higher. Lim also said cement is a basic building material and any substantial increase in cement prices will be redistributed into the economy. He stressed that this will then affect the buying power of consumers. The finance minister said the measure addressed public concern over the possibility of an increase in cement prices by as much as 40% in Peninsular Malaysia, as reported in the media last week. It also eased public concerns that the major local cement producers have abused their market power to raise prices unfairly. Lim also said that for the time being, the inflation rate for consumers in Malaysia remains low and stable, with the consumer price index for April 2019 rising only 0.2% at the same rate as the previous month. 16 more schools in Pasir Gudang were ordered to shut from Sunday until Thursday following new cases of air pollution in the area. 13 students from 2 schools were also rushed to the Sultan Ismail Hospital after suffering breathing difficulties and vomiting due to a mysterious smell. 49 others, meanwhile, sought treatment from nearby clinics.
Kalau kita lihat, kejadian ini murid-murid yang terlibat adalah murid-murid yang berada di tingkat 3 dan tingkat 4 di sekolah. Termasuklah pada hari Khamis. Kes hari Khamis pun di tingkat 4.
This is the second incident since students from another school just 5 kilometres away also suffered the same symptoms last Thursday. Other public education institutions, kindergartens and preschools in the area will also be ordered to close. Muhammad Kuzan said they are very close to identifying the source of the air pollution and expect to make an announcement in a day or two. Meanwhile, the Johor Department of Environment DOE is proposing to open a branch office in Pasir Gudang as there has been many cases of toxic pollution there. According to its director, Wan Abdul Latif Wan Jaafar, 10 officers will be placed at the office so that immediate action can be taken.
Ya, itu memang dalam cadangan kita lah untuk meningkatkan keupayaan pengawasan kita. Selain daripada kaki tangan, kita juga nak menambah dari segi peralatan dan juga kita nak dapatkan peralatan yang boleh detect pencemaran ini dengan lebih berkesan lah, supaya tindakan lebih berkesan kita akan dapat buat lah.
Speaking after inspecting Sekolah Agama Taman Mawar that was ordered to be closed since last Thursday, Wan Abdul Latif also explained that Pasir Gudang was currently under the jurisdiction of the Johor Bahru DOE office. He said the opening of the new branch will enable better monitoring and investigation of pollution cases in the area. Former Minister of Defence Datuk Sri Hishamuddin Hussein on Sunday gave a statement for 7 hours to the MACC over the land swap issue involving land belonging to the ministry. Speaking to reporters later, Datuk Sri Hishamuddin reminded all quarters that investigations and prosecutions on the issue should not be done selectively.
I have nothing to hide. Kalau saya salah, dakwa. Tetapi jangan dakwa saya seorang saja. Kerana apa yang kita nak tengok ialah keadilan. Yang kita tengok, kita nak pastikan bahawa apa yang dibuat ini tidak ada secara memilih kasih atau memilih bulu atau selective prosecution and investigation. That is what I would like to stress, that as they go forward.
Earlier, Datuk Sri Hishamuddin arrived at the MACC headquarters at 11 a.m. and left at 6 p.m. He was Defence Minister from year 2013 to 2018. The land swaps concerned go as far back as 1997. Datuk Sri Hishamuddin also thanked the MACC for their professionalism and said he was treated well during the interrogation. On another matter, MACC on Sunday said that a tweet purportedly by its chief, Latifa Koya, announcing that those sponsored to perform the Hajj pilgrimage by One Malaysia Development Berhad, 1MDB, from years 2011 to 2018 would have to pay back the money is fake. Latifa took to Twitter to upload a screenshot of the picture, which has been circulated on social media platforms, raising questions and concerns. The circulated screenshot claims that action would be taken against those who did not return the money within 30 days. The 1MDB scandal came to light following MACC investigation into the alleged misappropriation of government funds by the company. PKR is not going to question Datuk Seri Muhammad Azmin Ali about the sex video controversy, as the party leadership is not interested in the details concerning the contents of the clips. Its president, Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, said the party reiterates its position in rejecting gutter politics and said its disciplinary board had been very tough on the issue.
I think as far as our position is concerned from the beginning, and may I reiterate, our position is that we reject gutter politics. So we are not either interested in questioning or discussing the contents. And this has also been the position of the disciplinary bureau. They have been very tough on this issue. And I think the issue of his attendance in meetings is a separate issue. I don't think it is fair at this juncture to question him during these difficult times.
Datuk Seri Anwar said this to the media after chairing the party's Central Committee meeting at its headquarters in Petaling Jaya, Selangor on Sunday. He was responding to Haziq Abdullah Abdul Aziz's challenge to Datuk Seri Azmin to take legal action against him if the Economic Affairs Minister was confident of his own innocence.
Catch the auto segment every Friday on Nightline! Woo! Wow!
We're going for a short break, but when we return, school told to lodge police report over bullying incident. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail on Sunday expressed her concern over the drastic increase in EFinancial Fraud cases in the first 5 months of this year. She said a total loss of 40.7 million ringgit was recorded between January and May this year, which was more than the losses recorded throughout last year, totaling 40.5 million ringgit.
Bayangkan kerugian selama 5 bulan tahun ini telah melebihi kerugian selama 12 bulan tahun sudah. Saya percaya sudah sampai masanya MCPF bekerja bersama-sama dengan pihak-pihak yang berkaitan termasuk Bank Negara dan Suruhanjaya Security dalam usaha meningkatkan pencegahan jenayah penipuan e-kewangan ini.
Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Azizah said this in her speech at an Aidilfitri open house hosted by the Malaysian Crime Prevention Foundation, MCPF, in Shah Alam, Selangor on Sunday. The Deputy Prime Minister said the rapid development of cyberspace had also exposed the society to various new crimes which were never heard of before. Therefore, she said the MCPF, together with its strategic partners, should always keep abreast with the current trend and forms of crime. In Terengganu, police confirmed that there was a bullying incident at a secondary school in Kuala Terengganu in a case that went viral involving 2 students, one a Form 4 student and the other a Form 2 student. Terengganu Police Chief Dato' Aidi Ismail said police, who have yet to receive a report from the school, believe that the incident was triggered when one of the students started mocking the other. In the 14-second footage of the incident recorded on camera, the Form 4 student was seen hitting the other in a classroom at the school in Sethiu. As a result, the latter sustained bruises to his face and chest. It was reported that this incident took place on Saturday, but the school has yet to lodge a police report. Terengganu Education Department Director Shafruddin Ali Hussein, when contacted, confirmed the incident. He said the school principal and the Sithiu District Education Office have been asked to immediately lodge a police report. The 15 bodies and skeletal remains of the Batte Orang Asli tribe in Gua Musang, who are believed to have died of measles, were buried in one grave on Sunday at Kampung Kuala Koh, Kelantan. Almost 100 people attended their funeral, which was handled by the Kelantan Religious and Malay Customs Council, MAIC. The remains, including those of a one-year-old boy, arrived at the Tengku Muhammad Faiz Mosque in Gua Musang for funeral prayers performed by 50 people. Members of the media were not allowed to attend the burial for safety reasons, as the Kuala Koh settlement has been declared as a red zone by the government. A measles outbreak was believed to have spread quickly throughout the community and killed the 15 victims. The last victim to die was 3-year-old Nasri Rosli on June 16th. The government had blamed the infection on the low immunization coverage among the Batte tribe community. In Johor, a dental prosthetist was charged on Sunday with the murder of his girlfriend at the Johor Bahru Magistrates Court. When the charge was read out to him before Magistrate Nur Aisha Ahmad, the 35-year-old accused, Lim Seong Kim, made no plea. He faces the death sentence upon conviction. The court set August 29th for re-mention of the case. The victim, 35-year-old Teo Kang Ling, was allegedly murdered on June 3rd, and her remains were recovered a week later in a box at the roadside at Taman Setia Indah, Johor Bahru. The victim's body was found wrapped with a plastic canvas cloth and was cemented in the box. In Pulau Pinang, a 61-year-old man has been detained after he allegedly slashed his girlfriend during an argument at a flat in Ai Tam, Georgetown, in a fit of jealousy. The woman's son was also injured when he tried to intervene. According to authorities, initial investigations showed the attacker had been waiting for his girlfriend to return home early and got agitated when she only came back at about 1:30 a.m. The victims were slashed on their necks while the suspect suffered injuries on his body, believed to be sustained during a struggle. Police are now investigating the case under the Penal Code for causing grievous hurt by dangerous weapons. In Selangor, police have arrested a total of 20 foreign women suspected of working as guest relation officers, or GROs, at an unlicensed entertainment outlet in Puchong Jaya following a raid. In the 12:30 a.m. raid on Sunday, police also detained 2 local caretakers and 2 Bangladeshi men. Also seized were a variety of equipment, including microphones, loudspeakers, and cash amounting to 318 ringgit. Initial investigations found that the outlet offered GRO services to customers, charging 150 ringgit for a period of 3 hours. All those detained were taken to the Serdang Police Headquarters for further action. Still to come on Nightline, US launches cyber attacks against Iran. The details right after this breather. On to the foreign news now. The United States has carried out cyber attacks against Iranian missile control systems in retaliation after Iran shot down a US surveillance drone. The cyber attacks, which was reportedly approved by President Donald Trump, disabled Iranian computer systems used to control rocket and missile launches. Previously, Trump stressed multiple times that Washington would not allow Tehran to be armed with a nuclear weapon. On Thursday, the US military confirmed that an RQ-4 Global Hawk unmanned aircraft system was shot down by an Iranian surface-to-air missile system. Iran, however, claimed the drone downed in the southern part of the country had crossed Iranian borders. The incident further inflamed the ongoing tensions between Washington and Tehran, which have been on the rise since the attack on 2 oil tankers last week in the Gulf of Oman. In another development, the death toll and the collapse of a Chinese-owned building under construction at a Cambodian resort rose to 18 overnight as rescue workers scrambled to find survivors buried under the rubble. At least 24 others were injured in the incident, and according to authorities, it's unclear how many people were at the site at the time of the collapse. But a local official said earlier there would normally be about 50 workers on the building site at the time. So far, 4 people have been detained in connection with the accident, including the Chinese building owner, the head of the construction firm, and the contractor. Next, the 2019 Copa America. Brazil books quarter-final berth. Don't go away. We're back with sports news now. The biggest sporting event on earth, the FIFA World Cup, could finally be hosted in the football-mad ASEAN region for the first time ever. ASEAN Chairman General Prayut Chan-o-cha, who is the Thai Prime Minister, said ASEAN leaders have jointly pledged their support for the region to launch a joint bid to host the 2034 FIFA World Cup. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad said he welcomes the idea for ASEAN to jointly bid to host the 2034 FIFA World Cup.
And we feel that alone we will never have the chance of hosting the World Cup. But maybe all the ASEAN countries together might be able to hold the World Cup. And of course we can have the games played in all the ASEAN countries, like Japan and Korea.
Tun Dr. Mahathir said this to the Malaysian media in Bangkok, Thailand on Sunday. Looks like that sports item wraps up Nightline this time around. But before we leave, let's have a look at this low-cost solar car race organised in Cyprus, which proves that it is possible for people to drive and protect the environment, even with a low-budget vehicle. With that, I'm Anita Boo. Have a productive week ahead.